And we turn now to Ori Goldberg, who's an Israeli political commentator and joins us from Tel Aviv. And Ori, we're listening in to that. In the next 48 hours or so, a flurry of Western nations, including two Security Council countries, the UK and France, will recognise the state of Palestine, joining the vast majority of the General Assembly at the UN in the week to come. It will, I am sure, enrage the Israeli government and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The big question is, will it do anything to change his calculus?
Well, I don't know if it will enrage the Israeli government. I think it would behoove the Israeli government to behave as though this was simply to be expected and is yet another demonstration of the world's obsequiousness towards Hamas and towards the Palestinian cause and against the good fight that Israel is putting up. So I doubt we'll see real drama unless it comes from the extremes, and even then, not necessarily. Will it change his calculus? Not at the moment, no, I don't think so. But I think he is beginning to feel the pressure. And I think Israel generally is beginning to feel the pressure because Israel faces a paradox. It keeps going as though it has nothing to contain it or limit its efforts to carry out the genocide of the Palestinian people. On the other hand, circumstances are changing, and they're changing quite rapidly, not necessarily in terms of political results in the field, but in the sense that the Palestinian question is becoming a liability to existing leaderships around the world, not just in Europe, but in the United States. Certainly, the BRICS nations are treating the Palestinian question in very clear, overt terms. I think this is changing. I think Israelis are feeling the heat. Israelis are feeling the general resentment, not to say hate, towards them in various countries all over the world. It's quite popular here in Israel now. There's a whole genre of Israelis traveling and coming home uncomfortable, to say the least. All of these things are happening. Are they happening quickly enough to save a sufficient number of Palestinian lives? The unfortunate answer to that is no. But the change is very much being felt here. And I think the greatest difference it would make to Netanyahu is that he's getting more and more prepared for a snap election, which I would expect him to call as soon as possible because he thinks he might win that snap election.
And presumably part of his message in that election would be to prepare the Israeli nation for what he's already described as autarky, looking after itself, accepting its isolation in the world. What would it really take, to change Netanyahu's calculus? He's immune to everything from the recognition of the state of Palestine to sanctions, to orders from the international courts, even the UN panel declaring that he's committing genocide in Gaza. What would change his mind?
I think the answer is simple: binding decisions, sanctions, clear-cut judgments, finding Israel at fault, not just morally or in interpretative fashion, but in a way that stands in clear contradiction of international law. And as a result, ostracization that would be as complete as possible, leaving Israel in the dark, boycotting Israel, boycotting Israeli culture, boycotting Israeli sports, boycotting Israeli politicians, throwing Israel out of sports federations and confederations. All of these actions would, I think, reach the Israeli public and allow the Israeli public to view Netanyahu as a dysfunctional prime minister, not as a valiant prime minister who, despite being unliked and despite his many personal issues, doing all he can to fight an impossible battle. That's closer to the way most Israelis view Netanyahu right now. So what it would take are binding decisions. Are we anywhere near such binding decisions? I'm not sure. But I think those decisions are becoming more and more inevitable. No symbolic measures would make Netanyahu change his mind or change his calculus, and no symbolic measures would reach the Israeli public as well.
OK, Ori Goldberg, Israeli political commentator, joining us from Tel Aviv. Many thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.